Your paycheck is designed to run out, not because you spend too much, not because you're bad with money, because the entire consumer economy, the subscriptions, the financing, the payment plans, the fees, was engineered around one specific goal. Make sure the money is gone before the next paycheck arrives, and it's working. The average American earns $59,000 a year and saves less than $700 of it. That's less than 1.2%. The rest disappears every month, like clockwork, into rent and car payments and interest charges and subscription fees and convenient spending and things that felt necessary in the moment and are completely forgotten 2 weeks later. There's a specific gap that separates the people who are slowly building something from the people who are running in place. It's not a six-figure salary, it's not a windfall, it's not luck. It's $500. $500 a month. Freed up, redirected, and deployed is the number that breaks the cycle, not eventually. Not after years of sacrifice. Within months, it starts changing what's possible for you. Today, I'm going to show you exactly where that $500 is hiding in your current spending, exactly what it's doing instead of building your wealth, and exactly what happens when you take it back. My name is Marcus, and I spend a lot of time thinking about the gap between what people earn and what they actually keep. And more importantly, why that gap exists and who benefits from it. Quick note before we get into it. Nothing in this video is financial advice. This is purely educational. I'm here to break down the mechanics so you can make better decisions on your own. Let me paint you a picture. It's the 19th of the month. Payday is the 1st. You have $340 in checking. You know rent is covered, you know the car payment cleared, you know the utilities are fine, but there's something else. There's always something else. A charge you forgot about, a subscription that renewed, a copay from last month, a parking ticket, something, and you're doing the math in your head, not investment math, survival math. If I get gas today, can I still cover groceries until the 1st? If I order food tonight, is that going to push me negative? What's the balance after that Netflix charge hits? This is the tax that financial exposure puts on your brain. Constant background calculation, constant low-level anxiety, constant decisions made not because they're the right decisions, but because they're the survivable ones. And here's what that does to your money over time. When you're always close to the edge, you can't optimize. You can't wait for a sale because you need it now. You can't negotiate because you can't afford to walk away. You can't take a calculated risk because you can't absorb being wrong. You take whatever deal is in front of you, at whatever terms are being offered, because the alternative is worse. That inability to optimize costs you money every month in ways that are individually small and collectively enormous. This is life without the $500, and about 60% of Americans are living it right now. Here's the part that's going to irritate you, because the $500 isn't missing. It's not that it doesn't exist. It's that it's been captured systematically by people and companies who spent a lot of time and money figuring out how to get it before you even thought about it. Let me show you where it went. Capture point 1, subscription. The average American pays for 12 subscriptions and actively uses 6 of them. That gap, the 6 they're paying for and not using, costs between $80 and $150 per month depending on what's in the stack. Streaming services you signed up for during a free trial and forgot to cancel. Gym membership you've been meaning to use since January. Cloud storage upgrade you clicked through during a software installation. App subscription that renewed automatically for the 3rd year running. None of these transactions announced themselves. They just quietly withdrew, month after month. And because each one is small enough to not trigger alarm, $12.99 here, $9.99 there, $14.99 somewhere else. They collectively drain $100 or more per month from people who would be genuinely surprised if they listed them all out. That's the design. Small enough to ignore, recurring enough to be reliable revenue. Capture point 2, convenience tax sus. Convenience is sold to us as a feature. It is actually a margin extraction mechanism. The meal delivery app takes a $6 delivery fee plus a $4 service fee plus a 15% expanded range fee on an order that would have cost $18 at the restaurant. You pay $34 for $18 of food. The gap, $16, is the convenience tax, the ATM fee at the machine that's available right now instead of the one 3 blocks away. The express shipping on something that wasn't actually urgent. The airport food because you didn't pack anything. The gas station that's slightly more expensive than the one 2. Minutes off the highway. The average American spends between $150 and $250 per month in convenience premiums. Money not for things, but for ease of access to things. Most people have never calculated it. When you do, it's usually shocking. Capture point 3. Interest charges. The average American with credit card debt pays $1,300 per year in interest. That's $108 a month. Not for anything. Not for a product or a service. For the temporary use of money they already spent. $108 a month going directly to a financial institution for the privilege of having bought something in the past. A $3,000 credit card balance at 21% interest paying minimums. Takes over 14 years to clear and costs more in interest than the original balance. 14 years. For a balance you could have paid off in months if the money had been available. That's the trap. And it's an excellent trap because the minimum payment itself becomes an expense, which makes it harder to pay more than the minimum, which makes the trap self-reinforcing. Capture point 4. The upgrade cycle. Every product category has a standard version and a premium version. The premium version exists primarily because enough people will pay for it without meaningfully better outcomes. The airline seat that costs $89 more for 4 extra inches of legroom on a 2-hour flight. The phone case that costs $45 instead of $12 because it has a brand on it. The parking spot that costs $22 instead of $8 because it's closer to the entrance. Research on consumer behavior consistently shows that people overestimate how much additional satisfaction they get from premium options, and that the premium quickly becomes the new baseline. You upgrade the coffee, and within 2 weeks, the $7 coffee feels normal. The upgrade doesn't increase satisfaction, it just increases the floor. Average unconscious upgrade spend, $80 to $120 per month. Capture point 5. Erosion purchases. These are the ones hardest to see because they're invisible. In the moment, the second item you added to your cart to hit the free shipping threshold. The extended warranty you said yes to because the cashier was waiting. The size upgrade that was only $1 more. Individually, $1 here, $3 there. Collectively, $60 to $90 a month of spending that produced zero remembered value. Added up, subscription gap $100, convenience tax $150, interest charges $108. Unconscious upgrades $100, erosion purchases $75. Total, $533 per month leaving your account in ways you did not consciously choose. That's your $500. It's not gone. It's just currently working for someone else. Here's the thing that should make you uncomfortable. The companies capturing your $500 know you better than you know yourself. Not in a sinister way. In a data-driven, extensively A/B tested way. They know that free trials convert at dramatically higher rates than paid signups, and that cancellation rates stay low even among people who aren't using the product. Because cancellation requires a decision and inertia is powerful. So the default is, you stay subscribed. They know that small fees feel less real than large ones. That a $6 delivery fee feels negligible, even though $6 per order over a month adds up to real money. So they split the fees into small pieces and name them things like service fee and platform fee to make each one feel distinct. They know that credit card minimum payments lower the psychological barrier to purchase. That only $89 a month feels manageable in a way that $1,600 does not. So they lead with the monthly number. They know that defaults are chosen far more often than alternatives, that the pre-selected option, the auto renewal that requires you to opt out, the size that's already chosen when you open the app. These will be accepted by the majority of customers without evaluation. They know all of this. They've spent billions figuring it out, and their entire business model is built on you not knowing it. The moment you understand the mechanics, the $500 stops leaking automatically. Here's what nobody tells you about recovering $500 a month. It's not primarily a math problem. It's a psychology problem. The $500 is leaving through habits and defaults and environments that were designed to produce exactly that outcome. You can't math your way out of a behavioral system. You have to change the system. Every purchase decision you make happens in a context. That context was designed by someone. The app interface is designed to make buying easy and quitting difficult. The store layout is designed to maximize your time in high-margin sections. The subscription renewal happens automatically, so the decision to cancel requires active effort, while the decision to continue requires nothing. When you're not conscious of these design choices, you make the decisions the designer wanted you to make every time, because the system is good at what it does. Recovering your $500 means becoming conscious of the context you're operating in. It means identifying the defaults that are producing automatic spending and replacing them with conscious decisions. This is not about willpower. Willpower is finite and unreliable. This is about changing the environment so that the path of least resistance runs through saving instead of spending. spending. The person who puts their savings transfer on automatic, so that money moves the moment they get paid, before they see it, before they can decide not to, is not more disciplined than you. They've just designed a system where the default behavior produces the outcome they want. You can do this today. It takes 30 minutes. And it will produce different behavior, not because you became a different person, but because you changed the environment. Here's the math, and I want you to sit with this because most people underestimate it significantly. $500 a month invested in a low-cost total stock market index fund at the historical average return of 10% annually over different time horizons, 5 years, $38,600. A real emergency fund, a full car down payment, the beginning of a foundation, 10 years, $101,000, 6 figures from $500 a month, not from a windfall, not from a salary that doubled, from redirecting money that was already leaving your account. 20 years, $382,000, life-changing money, the kind that changes what's possible for the rest of your life. 30 years, $1,130,000, from $500 a month. The same $500 that was going to streaming services you forgot you had, and convenience fees, and credit card interest. This is the real cost of the $500 leak. Not just the $500. Everything $500 becomes when it's working for you instead of against you. And here's the thing I want you to understand about these numbers. The time is going to pass either way. 10 years from now, you will be 10 years older. The question is only whether you arrived there with $101,000 or without it. The time cost is identical. The outcome is not. I want to stop here and talk about something that reframes this entire conversation. The financial industry has a term for customers who don't generate revenue. Customers who pay their balances in full every month. Customers who cancel subscriptions they're not using. Customers who comparison shop before buying and wait for sales and negotiate prices. They call these customers deadbeats. That is the actual term, used internally, without irony. A customer who manages their money well enough that the company can't extract significant profit from them is a deadbeat. Think about what that means. The financial industry has decided that the responsible customer, the one who reads the fine print, pays on time, avoids the traps, is the problematic one. The one they don't want. The one they haven't figured out how to monetize. And the customer they do want, the one they've built their entire product line around, is the one who is slightly confused, slightly stretched, slightly desperate, the one who carries a balance because this month got away from them, the one who renews the subscription without checking, the one who pays the convenience fee because it's easier. Every dollar of your $500 you redirect stops flowing into systems that were built on the assumption that you wouldn't redirect it. Become the deadbeat. Make the subscription company's churn numbers worse. Make the credit card company's interest revenue lower. Be the customer they hate having because you cost them more to serve than you generate. That is how you win this. Let me give you something specific because I want this to land in a real scenario rather than staying abstract. My cousin was making $67,000 a year and saving essentially nothing. Good salary, good job, not rich, but not struggling. The money just disappeared every month, and he genuinely couldn't tell you where it went. We sat down and went through his last 3 months of statements, line by line. What we found was not one big problem. It was 40 small ones. Streaming services, 4 of them, 2 he hadn't. Opened in months. Gym hadn't been since February. Software subscriptions, 3 from forgotten free trials. Food delivery, averaging $340 a month in delivery and service charges alone on food he could have gotten for $160 at the restaurant. Credit card interest, $89 a month on a balance that had been sitting there for 2 years because he was paying the minimum. Unconscious upgrades. He was defaulting to 2-day shipping on Amazon even when he didn't need the item for 2 weeks. He was choosing the premium parking at his gym out of habit. The gym he wasn't attending. Total identified, $580 a month. Not from cutting anything he cared about. From canceling things he'd forgotten he had, changing a few defaults, and paying an extra $200 on the credit card balance for 6 months to clear it. He redirected $500 of that $580 to automatic investment contributions. 3 years later, $24,000. Not from a raise, not from a windfall, from money that had been leaving his account on autopilot. Same income, different system. Let me give you the exact mechanics of how to find and redirect your $500. Step 1, the audit. Pull your last 3 months of credit card and bank statements and go through them line by line. Not to judge the spending, to see it. Most people haven't done this in years. You will find things you forgot were being charged. Write down everything that doesn't add clear remembered value. Step 2, the cancellation session. Set aside 1 hour. Cancel every subscription that didn't make your ads clear value list. Not most of them, all of them. You can always resubscribe to the ones you actually miss. What you'll find is that you miss very few of them. Step 3, set the default. The day your paycheck hits, An automatic transfer moves $500 to a high-yield savings account or investment account before you see it, before you can spend it. The transfer is non-negotiable, as automatic as rent. What's left in your checking account after that transfer is what you have available to live on. This is the most important step. When $500 moves automatically, you adapt to the new baseline within 2 to 3 months. The money you thought you needed turns out to be more negotiable than you assumed. Step 4. The credit card payoff sprint. If you're carrying credit card interest, add $200 extra to the minimum payment until the balance is gone. This is your first investment, and the return is guaranteed. You stop paying interest. A guaranteed 20% plus return. Nothing in the market matches that. Step 5. The quarterly review. Every 3 months, spend 20 minutes going through your statements again. New subscriptions sneak in, habits drift, prices change. The quarterly review keeps the system clean without requiring constant vigilance. That's it. 5 steps. The first month is the hard one. After that, the system runs itself. Let me be precise about what this actually changes, because it's easy to understate. You stop making decisions from scarcity, the low-level anxiety that runs constantly when you're financially exposed. The background calculation, the "can I afford this" filter on every decision. It quiets. Not immediately, but within a few months of having a real cushion, you start making decisions differently. More deliberately, more patiently, you start being able to walk away from bad deals. The car dealership that won't come down on price. The landlord who won't negotiate lease terms. The job offer that's below your market value. When you're financially exposed, you take the deal because you need it closed. When you have months of runway, you can wait. And the ability to wait is the most valuable thing in any negotiation. You stop feeding the systems that are profiting from your exposure. The overdraft fees stop. The minimum payments become payoffs. The subscription creep gets audited out. The convenience tax drops as you become less desperate and more deliberate. And compound interest switches sides. Right now, if you carry credit card debt, compound interest is working for the bank against your balance. The moment you flip the switch, pay off the balance, start investing the $500, compound interest switches sides. It starts working for you every month on an increasing balance in your direction. That switch is what changes everything. Here's what I want you to take from this. Your paycheck was designed to run out. The subscriptions, the fees, the payment plans, the convenience premiums, the interest charges, they didn't happen to you. They were built around you by people who spent an extraordinary amount of time figuring out how to capture your money before you decided to keep it. $500 a month is what that system is currently taking from the average person. $500 a month is what changes to $382,000 over 20 years when you redirect it. The gap between those two outcomes is a decision, not a salary increase. Not a windfall. A decision made once, implemented as a system running in the background while you live your life. The subscription company doesn't want you to cancel. The credit card company doesn't want you to pay in full. The delivery app doesn't want you to pick up the order yourself. They've built systems specifically designed to make those choices feel harder than they are. Make them uncomfortable. Cancel what you don't use. Pay what you owe. Redirect the rest. Be the customer they can't figure out how to monetize, because every dollar that stops going to them starts going to you. And over 20 years, that's the difference between having $382,000 and not having it. Make the switch. If this video changed how you're thinking about where your money actually goes, hit that like button and subscribe, because this is what I do every week. Drop a comment and tell me, when you did your last spending audit, what surprised you most? I read every single one. See you in the next one.